Я запускаю все. Welcome to Get Started with Trucking 42. I am your host, Alex Vaylor. Thank you so much for being here with me today. This webinar is for those that are in the trucking business, have their own MC, and struggling in this slow market and trying to find maybe new ways to stay in the business and grow at the same time. I will be talking, actually I'm talking with the company owners almost every day, and together with my team we were able to find solutions and ways to survive in this market. The result for doing this on a daily basis is simple. We helped more than 15 companies to grow their profit and remain in the business. By the end of this webinar, my goal is to provide an actionable plan and the basic resources that you'll need to feel on top of things. We're going to talk about how do your business calculations help you out and grow your profit. At the same time, we'll finally make some deductions, and I'm going to tell you how to make changes that are going to make improvements for you and your business. With other words, how to make sense of all the reportings and all the numbers that I'll be showing you today and build a strategic growth plan. So now just to move forward, I will be showing you the entire picture of the webinar, and you'll see the blank just right in front of you right now. Okay, so today we're going to talk about how to get out of crisis, and the first thing that I would like to tell you and to talk to you about is that you always have to perform your business calculations. And why actually this point is so important? I would say that not even for me, for my company, or for any other MC owner, I could not find a better way to make conclusions. Basically, a lot of owners are doing their decisions based on probably emotions or on past experience, but the times are really quick changes. There are really quick changes right now happening in the market, in the industry, and basically in the whole world. So the most effective way that I found with my team is to basically first make the calculations, and those calculations will show you everything. If you'll be just a little bit patient with me today, I will go through the entire webinar and you will see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, and again, my goal is for you to see the result of our job today, and there will be real examples with real companies. So now if we'll go with the next point, we'll talk about the new tracking tool, new Tracking 42 tool. It was actually developed for you owners to be able to make calculations of your profit and to make probably the most important conclusions out of it, like to see exactly what is the profit, not based on the gross wise or rate per mile, because usually we are focused on those numbers. Okay, and the second part actually is the most important part, and you will see here also a lot of examples. The first point would be exact numbers equals right deductions. And from those deductions, those right deductions will probably lead you to right decisions. The last point, and the most important one, is that we'll identify the break-even points, or with other words, the bottom lines, and then we'll set targets for you and your company. Okay, so I'll go with the first point, which is that always perform your business calculations. The most important thing here is to understand that you cannot basically do any conclusions without the calculations, and I'll go ahead with the Tracking 42 tool that we've made for you and your company. We'll go ahead with it. I will be showing you a real driver with some real numbers that are actually on this market today, here now. And I'll be showing you actually how that works, how is the calculator working, all right? Let's go ahead and type a name, any name here. I'll go and type my name just for you as an example. The period let's say that we are calculating the driver for the October month, right? Okay. All right. Let's say that this driver grossed per month 30,000 bucks. We'll go ahead with 12,500 miles. That would be some averages. Again, I will be working with averages. You see here that the calculator already showed you the rate per mile. All right, you can see it here. And we'll go ahead again, as I said, I will be working with averages. So the truck payment here will be, let's say that you got a finance or a lease, and it will be at 3,500 bucks. There is a drop-down menu here, okay, where you should just choose the fixed. Is it a fixed payment, percentage out of the gross, or a rate per mile? So we're choosing a fixed payment. So is the trailer payment. You can go ahead with the truck insurance. Let's say it's 1,900 bucks. Again, I'm working with averages. This is an average that most of our owners that we work with are used to spend on the insurance. Anyways, if you have, for example, any other type of, I don't know, payments that you have on the fixed payment, you can add here, for example, the cargo liability. So you just press that button below, add a row, and you go with cargo liability. Okay. You can write it down, like, I don't know if you are probably having 1,000 bucks for the cargo liability. However, I just entered the insurance for all those expenses that you have. It's 1,900 bucks total. We'll go ahead with the services. Let's say that you are paying your dispatch service at 5%. Okay. The really important thing again is to choose the gross wise here. Also, you'll be able to see what is actually the expense in dollars, and you'll be able to see here the 1,500 bucks or the 12 cents per mile for this expense. Again, it is calculated based on the miles and the gross that is entered here. Okay, we'll go with safety, for example, with the 200 bucks and the factoring with the 2.5%. All right, now on the driver's salary, I would again go with the average. Maybe probably 4 months ago, the average was 70 cents or I don't know, maybe 75. As for now, the 65 is the average for the driver. We'll just enter it here. If you pay more, of course, you can just enter it down. Then we'll go with the fuel. The fuel prices actually now are again around 75 cents. So I'll put it as an average as 75 cents per mile. If you paid any tolls, I'll put again just the averages here. Maybe probably you get the maintenance, 1,000 bucks. We'll add a GPS that you are paying or a IFTA here for the driver. That will be probably, these are all monthly expenses. So you just enter all of those down. Okay, after you did it, you will be seeing here what is the actually net profit for this driver with these exactly expenses. It will be calculated automatically. You'll be seeing your profit in percentage as well. That's really useful to understand that you are generating like 6% is your net profit out of this truck. Okay, your cost per mile, this is your net cost per mile, is 2.26. So all of that is basically here, and also you will be able to share that result with some of your friends or download the file. I will show you how it looks like after download it, just for you to know. So it looks like that. You'll see the name of the driver, right, the period that was calculated, and all of those expenses. Now I will try to show you the bottom line of this driver. What does it mean, the bottom line, or the break-even point? It means that what exactly should be the minimum for you to not run negative, right? So let's say that we have a 28,000 bucks. You're already running negative on those amount of miles. So this will for example, I guess here, yeah. At this point, your company is generating only $81 from this truck, okay? Now, I will go ahead and get to the next point of our webinar, and it will be exact numbers equals right deductions. Okay, just to tell you exactly what we are going to do right now, we are going to get all of those drivers. We are going to take a real company that we are working with right now. We are providing services for them. So we'll be taking a real company, and we'll get all of those numbers for 15 drivers, and we'll put them all in one place, okay? And you'll see this thing. I guess I will be really quick on this end, because all the numbers and all the conclusions basically will be farther on. As for now, I will just be showing you what exactly I entered here. So I put the dispatcher. This is just in case we want to make a conclusion about the dispatcher's efficiency. We put the driver's name here. The agreements that we have with the drivers, are we paying them per mile or percentage? Are we working with a solo or a team? Okay, the truck trailer numbers, we'll go with the actual results. For this month, we're talking about August, September, October in the downside. Okay, so here are all the real numbers that we have, the 2.57 per mile. We just entered all of those down. Then the interesting thing about the fuel, I'll just stop for a second here, is that you enter the exact amount that the driver, from the fuel reports, you just go with the exact amount, you just enter it down, and you'll be seeing how much you spend on fuel in percentage and on the rate per mile. That's where I took the numbers from. Like at nowadays, for example, the 0.75 is the average fuel per mile. For August month, it was 0.80. Right? Then we go with the driver's salary. And on the driver's salary, it was really interesting to see that the owner in August month was paying the drivers, even on the dry vans, he was paying the 75 cents per mile. And this is way above the average. I mean, he was overpaying his driver all this time. I would say it's almost 90% of the drivers, he was just overpaying them. And he still got a good profit here. We can see that we have the $26,000 profit from 15 trucks. However, this is a really good point to understand. I will go with that more deep a little bit later. Let's go with the working days. We are entering another topic here, the working days. You will be able to see how many days are actually the drivers working. If you do not have a target yet for the drivers of how many days they have to work, well, I would say that you should go ahead and make some targets for them. However, I put it here, the rentability is the most important stuff here. You will see the rate per mile that your company is actually generating as an average. So you got 10 cents for each mile from all those trucks, and you have only like 4% you are generating as a company. So you'll be able to see also an average per each truck. So each truck is generating as an average $1,783. Okay, again, just one more second, I will show you. Here we had two breakdowns. Okay, so the owner for the entire month generated only $943, and we have the last month like $15,300. And you can see all of that in one place. However, these numbers will lead to better conclusions a little bit further on, and I will show you what I mean by that. So we have some general indicators here. Again, I will not stop too much, just to show you. The average miles that the drivers are running for this company are 13,236 miles. That's a really good, actually, result. If talking in terms of target for the driver is actually around 12,000 to 12,500 miles per month, because that's something I would say achievable, right? However, we should take in consideration that this company has 4 team drivers. Okay, so they are generating around 32,000 per month, and with the rate, you can see in August it was 2.48, 2.41, and 2.39. These are actually the averages not only for the dry van. They have 11 trucks of dry vans, it's 4 flatbeds, and 1 reefer only. Okay, one very interesting point that I want to stop right here and show you is I was really surprised by myself to see this. I never saw it like with other companies, but this was very surprised to see. So imagine, we have 70% of all the profit that was generated by this company for 3 months, it was generated by 3 trucks only. These are the flatbeds. This is the exactly flatbed profit. We are not talking about the gross, we are talking about the company, we are talking about the type of trailer. So flatbeds, 3 trucks generated 70%, almost 70% of the entire profit of the company. That's I would say, kind of a very good conclusion to understand that probably you don't have to change your trailers tomorrow and try to get that switches. However, that's a really good thing to know that flatbeds right now are better than dry vans, and you can see exactly on how much. It's 70% in 3 trucks. That was a really interesting thing to see. And the same thing with the team drivers. So 76% of all the profit are generating 4 trucks in the company for the 3 months. Can you imagine that? That's a really good thing to know. Here we go with some averages, again, rate per miles. With the 2.48, and the fuel was at around 80 cents in August, 78 in September, and in October we have the 81. Okay, now let's go to some real conclusions and real implementations, I would say, that we did in order to get to the company to become more efficient, okay? So here are some fuel indicators. I will not stop here for a long time. We have below 70 cents per mile drivers. Here you can see all of these numbers. They are also useful for you, just for your, let's say, for your understanding of what is happening right now on the market. However, I was again surprised to see that 3 drivers, the exact same 3 drivers are all the 3 months spending more fuel than any other drivers. So from 15 drivers, we have all of them here. In August, Jason spent spent 95 cents per mile for the fuel. Jose spent 90 cents, and Marat is actually on a reefer. These 2 are dry vans. 87 cents. So for Marat, for a reefer, it's actually good because the average for reefer is around 90 cents, 90 to 95 cents per mile, like a fuel expense. Okay, exactly the same drivers, Jason, Jose, and Marat here. They spent $1, Jose as well. And here Marat is is on the first place. However, Jose and Jason, they were above the averages. And actually these, for the company, first of all, this is a very good thing to know, so you can make some conclusions. We can go to those reports and make some really good conclusions. But the most important stuff is that you lost money, and you lost a lot of money. If Jose run, for example, I don't know, like 13 or 12,000 miles, then you are losing 20 cents for every mile. And I will be showing you exactly what was implemented and what exactly are the losses. So if we take Jose and Jason, this is the real profit that they actually brought to the company. The expected rentability would be this in case that they would run the average as 1.80 or 1.85. So we have the lost profit of total $6,800. For the Jason is $9,000. So we have here around $15,000 losses only on the fuel because 2 drivers are having expenses on the fuel. I would say some unreal expenses on the fuel. Even with the fuel being that expensive, you can see the averages for 15 trucks, so it cannot go above that much. Okay, it can go 5 cents, 10 cents, but it cannot go like 20. Yeah, it was more than 20 cents. So now, what exactly are the conclusions? That Jason, Jose, and Marat are way out of the market averages. The drivers, Jason and Jose, probably, again, we are doing some conclusions like it might be this, it might be something else, but it is what it is. The drivers, Jason and Jose, might do some deceptive activities, right? However, it might be the opposite, the other stuff, that the drivers are refueling at the most expensive fuel stations and working in those areas, like California, I don't know. So we've got a little bit deeper into it, and just we start checking the reports and activity of the fuel cards, okay? We've created a rule with the maximum price per gallon that the drivers are allowed to fuel. We also share the map for the fuel stations that our fuel cards has discounted, right? So all of those implementations, we also created the channel group where we are just updating that every week, okay? And the drivers know what are the fuel stations, they have the map in front of them, and if those rules are broken, they are not just doing that, we're just taking another actions. However, I would probably not go into details what exactly was happening after that, but the most important thing is that you can make your company more efficient by making those type of conclusions. And if we'll move forward, you'll see even better results, I would say better indicators. Okay, so now we have the indicator of driver efficiency working on working days and target miles. Okay, what I mean by that is if a lot of drivers were not getting to the target miles, I will tell you right away that I did took off all the drivers that had breakdowns. So here are the drivers that basically are not achieving their targets. Okay, so we have Mike at 10,500 miles, working 17 days only, and he was negative. Expected rentability would be also, it was also negative even if he would work, and I'll come back to this, but even if he would work like 12,500 miles, all the 23 days this guy would work, we would have also a little bit negative here. However, we lost as a profit $2,246 total. It's a total loss of $9,000 from 3 drivers that were not that just did not achieve their targets on the days, working days, and the miles. Okay, we can see the same picture. It's again Mike, but there are totally different drivers on September month and in October as well. So total loss here will probably go up to more than $20,000. All right, and these are actually out of the control things. I mean, not for an owner out of the control, but I would say that the things that were not controlled by the owner, probably he did not put the targets in front of the drivers, but we see the real picture here. Now, again, we go with the conclusions and actions. The company lost in 3 months at least $20,000 with these drivers. The real good conclusion here is that even if driver Mike would cover all the target miles and working days, he will still run negative. And that's a really important thing to do because we got a little bit deeper. Why exactly is Mike running minus even if he will achieve his targets, okay? The point here was that the truck expenses for that specific driver, only for the truck, the owner was paying, it's a lease truck, and he's paying around $5,000, okay? And that's a lot. And basically, the driver is driving dry van, he is never achieving his target, so he will always run minus. So what we did is, again, we did the conclusion that the connection of the truck, driver, and trailer is worthless and ineffective. And also, the driver was overpaid on the salary. He was paying him 75 cents, and on the market realities, it's 65. I will stop here for just a bit, just to tell you one thing that I've noticed while talking with the owners that they're afraid of losing a driver, and that's why they are not just cutting that salary. But here is the thing: the market really went down, and all the owners that I know, they will never pay a driver on this reality market, on these realities, I mean, will never pay a driver more than 65 cents if it's a new driver. They will probably try to not cut all the drivers for all those salaries with the real drivers, with their drivers, with the drivers that are doing the targets, but they will never take a new driver with that high rate. Okay, so you don't have to be afraid that the drivers basically now will not find a job with a better payment. So you just have to, if there is a need of cutting the salary, and I would say that in this market, there is a very big risk that you will run negative if you will not go ahead and cut at least 5 or 10 cents. So let's move forward. The actions performed. The driver, Mike, was cut on the salary to 65 cents per mile. Then we gave him another truck and trailer. We gave him the reefer so he can generate more money. And also, due to the fact that he's coming back every weekend at home, we gave him the short runs in the East Coast. That's really actually a very good strategy. You're paying a lot on the tolls, but still you're earning more money. Again, if the driver has to come back every weekend, he will earn and generate more gross and more money on the net profit for you. Okay, so now one of the implementations that we made, let's say not only on one driver but for all the drivers for that company, was we created portraits and profiles for the drivers just to understand which driver, how many miles he is working as an average per month, how many drivers he is able to run per day, and how often is the driver late at the pickup or delivery. That's also very important to know, to understand if the driver is reliable and you are not losing days with him. Sorry about that. Not losing days with him while you are working together. Okay, I'll move to the next slide here. So we have the driver's efficiency, the same driver's efficiency, but we are talking about the salary and payments. It's again the topic that I've touched already today. The number of the drivers that are overpaid. Okay, we have in August 14 out of 15, in September 14 out of 15. Here in October, the owner already start cutting. However, we have the 93%, and the average paid rate was 32, 31, and now it's 30. Like the average rate again paid as the driver's salary was above the averages. If we'll go and show you exactly the company was, here are the real driver pay, okay, as an average for this company was 78 cents, and we got to the profit because there were drivers that were paid 30% out of the gross, and that basically got to this point when it come up that much. Okay, so the real profit for the company out of these miles was 154,000 bucks. We see the average as 10,300. The overpaid and loss. So basically, again, we have losses here. If the drivers would work as an average rate, we would not lose this money. And it's again losses everywhere. We have a total loss here around 45,000 bucks on overpaid salaries. All right. Okay, let's move to the next one. 1 second here. This actually identified the break-even points and set targets. I would say that that's the most important thing you can do. If you do not have the targets in front of your dispatchers and drivers, they do not know how many miles they have to run, okay? If you do not have those targets, then basically you are not effective at all. You are not effective, you don't know what are your expenses, expenses, and also if the dispatcher also does not have a target in front of him, he does not know where to aim. So he is just, I don't know, booking loads on spot and trying to get the best they can, but again, they do not have a target. So I will go here ahead and show you how you get to your break even point, I would say the bottom line, that is, what is the net cost for you per mile? That's the main thing here to show and explain. Okay, how you get to your break-even point? As I said, again, that's the main thing. If you don't set the targets in front of your dispatchers and drivers, then basically you're not effective. If you don't see what are the amounts of the miles, days, I don't know, rate per mile that were not achieved at the end of the month, then again, you will not be able to become more effective. And here are the break-even points and targets, okay? We have the truck. I just entered here, again, numbers as an average. I put the truck payment as $4,000 per month, the trailer insurance. It's all the same that you saw right in the beginning of this meeting. And I will show you how you can calculate that on the average rate per mile. So if you go ahead and put the 10,000, I put here the 10,000 miles the driver is running, the 12,000 miles, and 14,000 miles. Okay, so for example, we have the 10,000 miles. You'll go here, if your driver is running only 10,000 miles, you'll go with 81 cents per mile with him. On the dispatch fees, you'll spend 27 cents, and on the fuel, you'll spend fuel and driver salary, you'll spend $1.40. Okay. Now, here are the targets. That's why I was in the beginning telling you about the $12,000 because let's just see what happens at 10,000 miles. If the driver is running only 10,000 miles, you'll go to the bottom line at 2.48 will be your minimum, the break-even point where you cannot go below. And I would say that on this market realities, if you have a dry van on a 2.48, that's almost impossible to cover that truck on the market. I will not say that you have to put a target of 2.68, and that's even more impossible. Again, that's possible, but how many cases? Out of 15 drivers, one driver will cover it like that? Yeah, probably. Again, these targets are actually too high for this market. So that's why the driver has to run those 12,000 miles minimum for you to get the 2.3 as the breaking point, and the 2.5, 2.4 to 2.5, your dispatcher will be covering that driver. Okay, and the 14,000 miles will be only for the strong drivers and the teams. However, they can go ahead to the 2.17 and 2.37 would be the target. You can see here also the grosses, so you can put that right in front of your dispatchers and drivers and see exactly how they can achieve those targets. Now, actually, just for you to know, you can go ahead. Julia is here, my manager, with me today, and she will be sending you the link where you can go ahead and get the free calculator tool right now for yourself. So you just go ahead and go ahead to that link, type your name, number, and email, and you'll get the free app today. Also, if you liked what you saw and you want us to make a full audit for your company and make the same conclusions, maybe probably give you even better understanding and numbers, just go ahead and get to the link that Julia will send you, and we will be able to make a free audit for you and your company. Actually, only 15 places are available for right now for the free audit. And the last thing that I would say is that you can also get the appointment for the next webinar. for free. If you'll go with the links, you can just go ahead and see there in the comments. You'll see a lot of links here. So I would say that we are getting to the bottom line of our webinar, and if drawing an outline of the entire webinar, it was intended to give you tools and practical and efficient way to stay and be strong even in these new market realities. For now, if you have any questions, I am ready to answer those. So go ahead, and if you have any questions, please type there in the comments. Julia will help me out with the questions, and I'll be answering those questions. Sorry. Okay, it's the webinar is going okay. So I'm waiting for those questions. All right, Carrie, thank you for the tool. You're welcome, Carrie. In the meantime, if you, again, would like to get the scheduled appointment for the next webinar, you just go ahead and get that link filled out. Okay, what lanes, I see the first question here. What lanes are strong for owner-operators with own authority pulling reefer out of North Carolina? All right, that would be an answer, actually. I see the FH20 wrote that. So I would get with that questions to my reefer dispatcher that will be able to answer you exactly how he is running the reefers out of North Carolina. I am more in the part of the analytics, right? So I will not be able to answer exactly how I would cover such a truck. However, we can have a conversation, and again, I would be able to connect you with one of my dispatchers, and you will be able to get to some numbers and some conclusions for yourself. What do you think about the current situation on the market? Okay, Gunib Logistics. Well, what I can say, the current situation for the owners especially is very tough and rough, and we have to again, if we are talking about half a year even ago, it was much easier. You don't have to get into those details and make those probably efficient stuff for you and your company. But now every penny, you have to just count it first. You have to see what is not working. Second, you have to have someone as a manager that is doing those analytics for you and getting those I don't know, probably things that are not working in your business, probably the drivers that are not achieving the targets, the dispatchers that are not achieving the targets. So if you'll get with all of those numbers, you will be you will be able actually to survive in this market. And there are also kind of strategies, because I have owners that are paying a lot of money for the trucks and trailers, and they are asking me like, Alex, I did everything I could, I just cannot get out of it. I'm paying the $5,000 for the truck, like I don't know, $1,600 for the trailer, and there is still a way of getting out of that and survive in this market. With those ways, I will be able actually to talk about more on the next webinar. There are lease to purchase programs, and also there are drivers that want to work like that. So that would be kind of a release for the owner with the trucks and trailers that have a really big expense. So from every difficult situation, I would say there is a way to survive and remain in the business. Okay, how do you make sure that your remove dispatchers work instead of chilling? We don't have an office in Ukraine, and we feel like the slack a lot. Okay, how do you make sure that they don't chill? In this market, for the dispatcher to chill will be really hard, actually. But however, okay, first of all, you have to have all the time the numbers in front of you, and you have to put targets in front of the dispatchers. It would be amazing if you would have a manager or someone that is actually taking care of that and is pushing the dispatchers. However, paying the percentage would be probably everyone is paying percentage, the dispatchers. However, this is a good way for the payment and motivating them. And also, you always have to have an average of the market, or the average what other dispatchers are covering. So you can always mark somewhere in the average and see exactly if those targets are achieved by the dispatcher. And if not, I mean, it does not really matter if he chills or not. The main important thing is if he is giving you the good results, if he is bringing you, if he is effective, and he also knows the other part of the job of getting the drivers doing their job. Okay, so the dispatcher might motivate them as well. So a really experienced dispatcher which knows his job, he will always be above those averages. So again, if taking control of the dispatcher, just have the numbers in front of you and make sure he is achieving those numbers. Okay, I do need to get my numbers organized for my business. How do I go about doing this? All right, FH20. Again, the second question from you. So I said that if you go on a link below, you have the link right after your message. We will be doing a free audit, and basically we can also help you out and show you how to get those numbers situated and how to get use of those numbers afterwards. We will make the free audit and conclusions for you from the first, like with this link, you'll be able to get a free audit for your company for the first. After we will talk the first time, I will be showing you how to do it like on a, I don't know, on a regular basis. Live. How do you set targets with this market? Well, it was a part of the webinar live where I showed you what is the bottom line and what should be the targets. Okay, like last week we had 2.8 for a reefer. That's a really good result. We overachieved that all this week. We set it to 2.85 and the results are 2.7. Okay, again, you have to go with the market realities and know exactly what is happening right now. Well, yeah, that's kind of, let's say that everyone was waiting for the market to go up, but it went down. So the 2.8, then you put a 2.85, and the results are 2.7. That's something that is actually happening with everyone right now, but still. The 2.7, if you are combining the short runs with the long runs, then this is a good result for the dispatcher, I would say. It's kind of an average, but it's still good. It's not below, so that's very important. How do you show us how do the analytics and set targets for your people without knowing what to expect next week? Like actual process, not taking, haha, sorry, it came out of, oh, okay. Okay, so live. You put the targets in front of the dispatchers based not on exactly the market, right? You put it as a minimum of 20 cents above your bottom line. That's what I was trying to show you. That would be the target that the dispatchers cannot go below. Of course, you have to get and take in consideration the market ranges and the trend lines that you can see on the DAT and truck stop. However, due to the fact that the market is changing right now, again, you just set the targets as at least the minimum that you cannot go above. And when you see that the market on the trend lines is coming back up, then you can set the 30 or 40 cents above your bottom line. From your opinion, which niche is doing well and will stay profitable in this current market? I would say that, okay, the reefers and flatbed, All right, based on my experience, again, I will just talk based on my experience. Based on my 5.5 years of experience, we have the flatbeds always run like 10 cents more than the dry van, and the reefers 20 cents. In this reality, the dry vans are far more below the flatbed and the reefer at this point. So it's going up to 30 to 40 cents. So if you want on this market to survive, anyway, it will always be almost the same. So again, we have the reefer and the flatbed always being more than the dry van. So I never had in my entire life any experience when I saw that the reefer is lower or there are no loads for the reefer or flatbed. So basically, if your drivers run flatbeds and you can run the flatbed, then you go with flatbed. It will be better than driving for sure, especially today on this market, and the reefer as well. To say that it will always be good or bad, you cannot just predict that. We have those type of recessions right now, depressions and inflations all at the same time in the United States, so you don't know never what exactly is going to happen and how many loads are going to be there to move. However, again, when any of that happens, you have to have a plan. You have to know, are you getting to cut the driver's salary, or are you going to make your company more efficient on the targets, days, and the rate per mile that they will be achieving. All right, guys, we are probably going to the final of the webinar. It was a pleasure being with you here today. Actually, what I can say that I really hope that my target was achieved for the entire audience today, and I gave you really practical tools and probably new efficient ways for you to survive on this market. I was happy to be here with you today. I hope that all the information provided will be useful to you and your company, and you will be able to take the most out of it. So I see you on the next webinar. I wish you the best luck and stay profitable.